Hello, hello. If you are joining me, feel free to turn your camera off. We don't need cameras because I'm going to be teaching today all about brand mini sessions. But if you can be very present, grab a pen, grab your phone and take notes. You're going to get the most out of this masterclass. And you'll also get the replay if you can't take notes now. But if you can, I invite you to be really present because I'm going to be giving some prompts throughout here. You're going to be like thinking about your mini session offer, maybe designing it, have some good breakthroughs and takeaways. And it'd be great to write that down, while your creativity is flowing and while your energy is high. And then I do have Dahlia, who's part of my team on here to help with anything you need. So if you have questions, feel free to tag her in the chat since I might not see the chat as I'm teaching. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So first off, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be here. I know we're all busy humans and there's a lot going on, and it just shows a lot that you are invested in your business. You're invested in wanting to be a better photographer, wanting to be a better business owner. This is already a win that you've taken the time to show up here. And I'd love to know, so I'm proud of you for that. Give yourself, celebrate that. It's all about celebrating the little wins in our business. And I want to ask and invite you to type, if you can, in the chat, how many of you have done a mini session before? How many of you have offered a mini session before? And make sure you're muted, please. Let me know in the chat if you've done a mini session before, and specifically, if you've done a mini session and if you've done a brand mini session, personal branding client. So Dahlia, if you can help me with the chat and just help mute people if people aren't muted, that would be perfect. Ooh, Ray said she's done 3. That's amazing, Ray. Not yet, long time ago. Yep, hard to galvanize people on them. Ooh, okay. We're going to talk about that today, Julie. How to get more people at your mini session day. I love this, Hannah. Yeah, you're ready to expand to branding. Perfect, because I specialize in branding. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You can keep the chat going, but I'm going to share my screen because I have some notes, because it helps me to have some notes to stay on track while I'm teaching. So I don't go too far off on a tangent. So I'm going to jump in and screen share. Amazing. I'm glad some of you have done mini session days. And Hannah's saying horse portraits. Amazing. You do equine photography. That's amazing. Hey, Vonda. I did a couple. One's coming up in October. Perfect timing for your October mini session. Yay. LinkedIn profile makeover day. Ooh, Vonda, that is genius. I love that. Go ahead too. And just, are there any burning questions before I jump into my slides that you guys are really hoping to get answered from this class? Anything that you're like, I really hope Meg covers this. I really want to walk away with clarity. I just realized I'm looking at my light and not the camera. There's the camera. Anything you're hoping in clarity wise that you get more clarity on when it comes to filling up your mini session days. And then, ooh, I love that. Seshu, how do you protect your own high-end branding when you offer mini session days? Ooh, I love this question. Yes, yes, yes. We can totally cover that. I'm just going to drop that in my notes so I can remember to come back to it. Love that.
I'd like to just get a large French fry with sauce.
Someone's ordering a French fry. I'm going to go ahead and mute yourself if you're not on mute. Make sure it's a great time for some French fries. Okay. That sounds good, actually. I just realized I haven't eaten breakfast. Oops. Now I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry because I heard of French fries. Pricing. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that because I wasn't going to talk too much about pricing, but it is something I wanted to talk a little bit about because I had a feeling that it might come up. So we can talk about pricing. Beautiful. Anything else that comes in, just like, you know, put in the chat. And I love, get the combo going in the chat, connect with each other there. How to market a mini. Yep, we're definitely talking about how to market a mini. Don't worry, we are diving into that. Okay, cool. Well, then on that note, let's get started. Okay, let me screen share my slides and see. Okay, can everyone see my slides? Just say yes in the chat if you can see them. Awesome. And I actually can see the chat. So if you have questions as I'm going through, feel free to drop them in to the chat. Okay. So let's talk about this because I've done several, let me shut the window really quick so it's a little not so noisy. I like to open my windows like first thing in the morning. I walk through my house and I like open the windows in the house, get some breeze going, especially in my office while I start working, because I feel like it just helps me just get into the flow better and kind of move the energy. But of course, people are doing yard work and things. So, okay, here we go. How to maximize your marketing efforts to have a successful mini session day. So the reason I really wanted to talk about this, and specifically like maximizing our efforts, in other words, when I hear that, I think of like, how can we do this one thing for marketing and have it like ripple out and it be so impactful for booking clients and fulfilling our mini session day that we don't have to like do so much marketing. Because I don't know about you, if you're a parent watching this, if you have another business, you might have a full-time job. This might be your side hustle right now. And it's like, you might be a dog mom. Like, shout out to my dog moms. I don't have a dog right now, but I love dogs one day. It's like, we don't have time to like be like, I know I don't have time. I'm speaking for myself. I don't have the time to show up and like market like every single day and like post every single day, like on social media, or send an email even every week. Like I typically send 1 or 2 emails a month to my clients. And then I focus on posting 1 to 3 pieces of content a week on Instagram right now. And that's it. And I've been able to still fill up my mini session days doing that. In the beginning, I did post more to fill them up and create buzz because I was a new brand photographer. So you might have the time to show up more than that, and that's great. But we just want to make sure every single time we choose to invest our precious time into marketing for our business, we are really going to maximize that thing and get the most out of it. So that's really what we're talking about, like how to really maximize. And everything I'm going to cover today is going to help you get the most out of your marketing so that everything you do, you're getting more results for every action you take in your marketing. Okay. Hopefully that sounds good. If you don't know me, I am a mom, as I mentioned, love traveling. I love living room dance parties. And I actually had one last night with my kids. I've been like, so we were listening to Selena and like throwbacks from Selena, like Como La Flor, and I was dancing with Carter, my son, and we just like, I just found a new song because I have a whole playlist and it's like our songs, and these are the songs we dance to. So anyways, love a good dance party in the living room. Make sure you're muted if you're just tuning in to the workshop. And I love being a 6-figure brand photographer. I love this work we get to do. It is so fun. I just can't imagine myself like doing anything else other than being a photographer now that I've created this business and have this amazing, like these amazing clients and this brand and just like this life, right? Like, I don't know about you. How long has everyone in here been photographer or business owners for? I'd love to hear in the chat. How long have you been in business, in your photography business? Let's focus on that. How long? Because I'm sure it's all over the board. Julie said 13 years. How amazing is that? So cool. And I love that, Julie, you're still showing up. Mark said 29 years. Nice, Mark. You're still showing up. You're still learning. You're still growing. And that's why you've been in business so long, right? It's like you're still investing in yourself, your brand, wanting to be the best photographer you can be, learning about marketing. That's great. We all have different strengths too. And that's why I'm really excited to teach this, because I've done 8 or 10 mini session days now that were like filled up. And so I'm excited. I feel really confident to answer any questions you have about this. And I hope you try it. I hope it becomes your thing, the brand mini session days moving forward. Just launched in August. Congrats. Ooh, yeah, it's been a hobby. And now you're like, ooh, this will be good for you. We're talking about, just charging as a business owner. So perfect. Okay. So anyways, one thing I wanted to highlight is that it took me 111 photo shoots. My first year, I did hit 6 figures in my business. And now I've been able to create like a 6-figure business working a lot less, like about 1/3 of the time, in terms of like how many days I'm actually shooting. And one of the reasons for that is the mini session days. So I count a brand mini session day as one photo shoot, because for me, it's only one day of my time. I'm leaving the house, I'm going to photograph at this beautiful space for a few hours, and then I'm coming back. So it's a great way to leverage your business, like leverage your time and scale if you're not already doing these days, and have these multiple offers for people. I'm not going to go into in the workshop too much, because I want to focus on marketing in this workshop. I'm not going to go into like too much about like why the mini session days are so great for your business. But I recently did a YouTube. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. I go behind the scenes and I talk more about like making your mini session day really profitable in there. So I just wanted to make sure, if you haven't watched that, go watch that after this. But the other thing is like, yeah, I've done multiple 5-figure mini session days, and it took me a while. My first mini session day was not like a 5-figure day. Okay. My first mini session day, I actually charged $97 for. And then now over the last few years, I've been able to create the experience of $1,000 mini session day. And so that's the goal, is just start, charge, and just get yourself out there. And I hope after today, everybody launches their mini sessions and you fill them up. And then you can always raise your price, in the future, and you absolutely will. So let's talk about this. So this workshop will probably not be what you were expecting, okay? Because a lot of photographers focus on the wrong things when they're marketing. They put energy into like just spinning their wheels and like just posting content and putting out more stuff, but it's not actually the right stuff that's going to necessarily like have your client like whip out their credit card and say, yes, book me immediately. I want a spot. I want to join the wait list. So that's what I want to share with you today, is how do you get those kind of results in your marketing? And the first thing that really came through when I was designing this workshop for you is like alignment. I see so many people like just or feel and I can speak to this because I have absolutely felt misalignment in my brand at times. And if our branding, if our energy, if our offer we're selling, if our pricing doesn't feel aligned, and like you don't feel super confident in it, and it doesn't feel like it's you, there's just going to be this like misalignment in your branding and your marketing and your selling. And clients might not know why. They're just not ready to say, yes, let me book you. Yes, here's my credit card. Yes, I want a spot. It's just going to feel off. So let's dive into this. How many of you feel super aligned with your branding right now? Be honest, we're all here to grow. And I'll be the first to admit, recently, I did not feel aligned with my branding. Like probably the last year, I felt this like misalignment. And so I'm currently rebranding, which includes like redoing my colors, redoing my mission statement, diving into my brand values. We're going to talk about that. But it's like, I go through seasons where I don't feel super proud and excited and aligned with my branding. So what that causes is just, like I mentioned, this disharmony with your brand, and like feeling excited to sell, feeling excited to book clients for your offer. And the other thing I put on this is like mistakes I see a lot is like doing what other photographers are doing. And I get it. We get inspired from each other. And we're like, ooh, I love that reel. Or like, oh, I love this blog she made. Or, oh, I love like, she called her offer, like, magnetize your brand. I want to do something like that. But then we put out this brand that we are inspired and we admire in others. We put it out as our own or like a version of it. And it's like, it just doesn't work because it's not us. We're not just like showing up and being us. So that's a big one. And then like, the other thing is just not sharing what makes you unique. Again, just like not having that clarity and really like going all in with your own branding because, and like trying to talk to everyone. I know this is a fear. Let me know if you've like totally, yeah, a lot of you are saying, I feel aligned, but something's missing. So maybe it could just be dialed in a little more. Vonda said she wants to rebrand. You feel like you've outgrown it. Totally. Thanks for sharing that YouTube in the chat, Dahlia. Cool. Yeah, it's like, I get it. Make sure you're muted if you're joining us. Okay. So, where was I? Yeah, like, and I get the desire and the like lure of wanting to like talk to everybody online and please everyone and not like leave anyone out. But when you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So when you're designing your offer, when you're selling your mini session date, when you're picking a price, you want to be thinking about your person, right? And then the last, like, I'm going to get into more of that in a second, but the last thing I see is like, this is big with photographers. I do a lot of portfolio reviews, website reviews in my mastermind, and I see photographers not showing their best images, their top 5%, like on their website and in their social media and in their marketing and in their emails and on that carousel or in that reel. It's like you're trying to show all your photos instead of really dialing it in to like the best photos. And some of these are really easy fixes you can go do today and have more alignment with your branding and marketing. So how to realign your brand. So sometimes we have to take a step back to leap forward. So this is me right now. I'm rebranding. The last few months, I've been like I'm in the weeds. I'm answering all these questions about my branding and who I love to work with and what I stand for. But like taking some time to fine tune and refresh your branding, refresh your website. Maybe you need your own brand photos. Maybe it's been a hot minute. All of this is going to lead to more confidence with your marketing, selling, and booking out your mini session day. I promise you. This might seem like, Meg, this is not why I joined this workshop, but I promise, like, if you do this first, you're going to get better results in your marketing and with everything you do with marketing, as you invest in your own brand. And it feels really good. Like, how many of you have like done a rebrand, gotten new photos this year, and it feels good? Or maybe you refresh your website and you're like, oh, I feel good about this. Like, I want to share my website now, right? So when I say take a step back, I don't want you to go into the weeds for like months and like completely like I've done and like completely like rebrand. I mean, the thing is like I'm rebranding, but I'm still showing up. So that's the thing is I want you to take maybe a week or two to work on your branding, but still show up in the meantime as you're rebranding. And that's key to getting results while you're dialing it in more. And then I just want to leave you with some questions. You can take a screenshot of this and you can work on this later, but let me know in the chat, what are your 3 to 5 core brand values? What are those things that you really stand by and that you really like? Why did you sign up to be a business owner? Like, what do you really value in your own? It can be, it might be aligned with your own life values as well, but like really dialing it into only 3 to 5 values that are like the pillar and the foundation of your brand, of every post you write, of the experience you're going to create for your mini session day. One of my brand values is freedom. And I love I love having freedom as an entrepreneur. It's part of my mission to help other business owners feel freedom in their life. And another brand value I have is flourish. Like, I want to feel like I'm flourishing in all areas. And when I'm designing my mini session day, like I'm designing this experience that feels like in alignment with my values. Like my clients are flourishing when they're there. They feel like, wow, like I'm stepping into this next level me, I'm expanding. That's how I design my offer, is I back up and I say, what are my values, right? Yeah, some people are rebranding, I see. Yeah, so let me know in the chat, like what's coming through, and you can work on this later. And then another question to really get clear on, I see a typo here, but like, what makes up your brand essence and personality? And this will help you if you feel like, oh, yes, I feel like if that resonated when I said like, you might be blending in and speaking to no one because you're speaking to everyone, or you're like trying to be like this photographer and you don't know, you don't have clarity on who you are. This is how you get that clarity. Dial in, like, what are those 3 to 5 words that really sum up like your brand personality and brand essence? And that's going to weave through every offer you create, every launch you have, every mini session day you do. One of mine that is really in alignment with who I am and how I do my photography and client experiences is playful. And if you've seen my photos, like, like my photos are pretty playful. And that like, and on a brand mini session day, I play music, we have champagne, we're dancing. Like, that's just me. It's honestly who I am. That's to my core. And so I'm not faking it. It's just like me. I like to play, I like to have fun. And that's part of my branding. That's part of when I'm talking about the mini session day and selling it and really wanting to magnetize the right people who are going to love it and come back again and again. It's like, that is something I'm thinking about. And playful might not be who you are. And that's okay, because there are clients out there who they don't want like playful and like bubbly. They actually don't want that type of photographer. Like, I wouldn't be right for them. You are perfect for your ideal clients as you are. So what are those words that really, are who you are, how you do your photo shoots? I'd love to hear some of these in the chat. This is my favorite question. What is your brand essence? Ooh, fun, free, and professional. Yeah, I like that. Ooh, Maria, you said elegant, beautiful, and professional. Amazing. I think I don't know if that was for values or your brand essence words, your personality, but this is going to help you when you're writing your content, when you're like looking at all these reel ideas on Instagram and you're like, which one should I make? Because I know for me, like, I've looked at other photographers and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so good. I love that reel they made. That's so funny. And I'm like, I'm actually not funny though. I'm really not that funny. So when I try to like be funny and do jokes, like, it just doesn't like feel like me. I have to try really hard. And it's like, it's totally misaligned, right? So playful is me though. Dancing is me. Fun is me. Megan said, colorful, clean, and expressive. Oh, see that, like, when you say those words, it paints a picture of like what I imagine it's like to work with you and like what my final images and photos will be like too. I love that. So we're going to move on, but do some soul, searching. This is your homework. Dive more into this. You might make a list of like 50 words and you have to narrow it down to the top 5. Like, what are your top 5, the soul of your brand? And so once you're kind of revamping your brand, I encourage you also to declutter your website, go through your portfolio, take off images that show like a brick wall. Like, don't put brick wall photos on your website. I just recommend against it, unless it's like a nice white, pretty brick wall, because that's nice for branding. But like, get rid of like your photos that are not your very, very best, like lighting or whatever the condition was, or maybe their hair just was like a little, like their hair was like out of place. Like, it's just not your top image. Get rid of those from your portfolio, get rid of it from your social media, and really just show your top 5% of images moving forward. That would be the other way you can really dial in your branding and like create that magnetism. And so like the last thing is just, this is all brand embodiment, right? So we want to embody our brand. We want our clients to land on our Instagram and website and have an experience and get a feeling. And then when they talk to us, it's the same feeling. When they're on the photo shoot with us, it's the same feeling. That's the alignment, because sometimes what I see is photographers try to be one thing with their branding. It's not who they are. And then they get on a sales call or they start emailing a client who's interested, and the client doesn't book because they're just like, it's just this misalignment. It's this disharmony, and the client can't explain why. It's just happening. So that was a lot on that. Let's move on. And the same thing with alignment with your offer. So I did touch on this, but essentially, like, I want you to imagine when you're designing your mini session day, you're not making like a package. How many people, if you're still calling your services packages, please stop. I want you to call them collections or call them experiences or call it your service. Like I think those words are better than just saying like, here's my package, because we're not just giving them a package of photos and time. We are throwing a party, especially on a mini session day. I want you to imagine you're throwing a party. So how many of you like to host? I like to host. That's one of the reasons we're renting, like we moved into like a bigger house like a year and a half ago. And I love having people over. I love that like our kitchen has this like big countertop. I can put food out. We have a little backyard patio. We put lights up, like the little cute string lights. We play music when we have people over. I always have drinks. We fill up the cooler with ice. Like I like to have some candles lit. I'll light like a candle in the bathroom when I have guests over. Like I love creating that experience. So that is what we're doing as photographers, business owners, service providers. That is how we stand out with our marketing and selling. And, I want you to start to create experiences and imagine you're throwing a party instead of, oh my gosh, like, what should be in my package? How many photos should I include? What should I price? How much time? All that is just like details. It's like saying like, it's almost like saying like, hey, I'm throwing a party. And instead of being like, we're going to have music, we're going to have barbecue, some burgers and hot dogs. And we're going to do like one of my parties, my birthday parties, like this last year, I had a yoga teacher come and teach yoga. It was so fun on our back patio with my friends. And we did brunch and champagne. And I was like, okay, I'm having a yoga teacher, brunch and champagne, but I didn't get into the details. I was selling them the experience, right? My friends, I'm like, here's what we are doing. Here's what I'm doing for my birthday. It's going to be so fun. And it's like, yes, I gave them the details of like, it's at 10 a.m. Here's my address, but that was like afterthoughts. I didn't even actually send my address and all of that, like little stuff until they were like, ooh, yeah, I'm in, I'm coming. Like I didn't even send my address until I think the day before, because they don't care about that. And it's funny, with my last brand mini session day, I didn't book the actual like location we were shooting in until like a week before. It was already sold out the day. I already had clients booked. They didn't even know where we were shooting. But guess what? They bought into the experience because of how I sold the party and how I invited them to the party. It's not about like how many photos they're getting. I have people all the time who are like, oh, how many photos do I choose? Like at the end of their session, they don't even know. They don't care about that. Like they care about coming to the party. They don't care exactly, how much, how many like pieces of bread I'm going to serve and pieces of cheese they're going to get, and exactly what food will be there at the brunch. Like they don't care. They trust. They just want to come hang out and come to the party. So if we can start to make this mindset shift when we're selling, when we're creating our offers, it's going to make such a big difference. Because when I show up in an email, on Instagram, at a networking event, and I talk about my mini session day, this is how I'm inviting people, and this is how I'm selling it. I'm inviting them to a party. So I want you to ask yourself some of these questions. You can take a screenshot of this. What would you include at your ultimate party? What surprises would you add in to create a memorable experience? And like, what is that irresistible mini session day offer you just cannot wait to sell, AKA invite everyone to? So we get to make this shift. We're not selling. We're not being annoying. We are inviting people to our party. That's going to be freaking epic and incredible. If they don't want to come, that's fine. If they already have plans, or they're out of town, or maybe like they're just not feeling it, that's fine. I'm going to the party. It's going to be amazing. I'll invite more people. If they can't come, I'll keep talking about the party, and I'll extend the invitation to more people who maybe want to come to the party. Like that's all we're doing, you guys. So I hope this is resonating, this like mindset shift around selling. Meg, you're inspiring me. Yay. Yeah. Great way of approaching it. I'm so glad. Jacqueline said, I've never made this connection between hosting in your home and hosting a photo shoot experience. I love that. I love hosting as an experience in my home. Yeah, it's literally so similar because like for a mini session day, you are doing like you are renting a home. Ideally, that's my favorite place to do like a brand mini session day because you have multiple backgrounds. And then it's like, yeah, you can have like what we did on my last mini session day is I got snacks. So I got, how many of you like gummy bears? I mean, come on, instant hit. Can I get an amen for gummy bears? I had my team help me put this out when we got to the house, like a bowl of gummy bears. And then I had like a bowl of these little, like individually, I got them from Target, like these individually wrapped, like chocolate covered cashews, almonds. There was a bowl of those. And then we had a bowl of like, what else? Something else. Dahlia, do you remember? Dahlia was there. Yeah, Karina. Hey, Karina. Yeah, girl, who doesn't like a great party? And like, Karina, I'm like, maybe you can put your own touch on it. It's like I know you're Brazilian. So it's like, I mean, I want to like feel a little like learn about like more your culture through your brand. I want to learn more about like the food you eat. And I know you do show your travels on your stories and you're really good about that. So it's like, what is your unique flavor, you guys? What is your unique brand? What is something that feels really aligned that you could offer your clients on this day? You know, we offer champagne, and water. I get like water bottles and champagne. And when they walk in to the mini session day, me or my assistant says like, you know, can I get you something to drink? We have water and champagne. And they walk them. You know how like when you have a party, you tour your house, sometimes you show your guests like, here's the bathroom, here's where you put your bags. We do that same thing on the mini session day. And here's the thing is if you start to think about selling the experience, even if you haven't offered this yet before, this kind of experience for your mini session days, and it feels like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to sell it because I haven't offered it before. No, you can still talk about this experience you're going to be creating, you're going to be offering that day. And it just gets you a little more like grounded and excited about the marketing. And like, you're just going to show up differently and market it differently. And people are going to want to be there, right? Make sure you're muted. Someone's not muted. Mute. So yeah. Okay, let's move on. So the last thing, I'm not going to talk about pricing too much, only because I have so many resources for you about pricing. There's a couple YouTube videos. Actually, my most recent 2 YouTube videos, if you go to my YouTube, and maybe Dahlia can drop the link in the chat to the YouTube, but the one I just put out yesterday is all about behind the scenes of a mini session day. So you can actually go see how it's done. And I talk more about making it profitable and I talk about pricing there. And then my YouTube from last month was all about confidence in your pricing. So I want you to go watch those. But what I will say is, sorry for more typos. What I will say is, actually, I'm not sorry. I don't care. It's just a typo. Is that start with a price you feel really confident in. You, not me, not the photographer who's in the chat, not like your friend over there, not that photographer that you stalk on Instagram who's in your city and you're like, oh my gosh, they're launching minis again. What the heck? It looks so fun. Like, don't look at other people's pricing. I want you to really like dial in a price that feels good to you, because if you don't, there's going to be that misalignment. I've worked with photographers who like come into my mastermind and like they're actually charging too much for their offer because somebody told them to charge that for brand photography. And then they like dial their pricing into something that feels really good a little bit. They lower their pricing just a little bit, like to something that feels good that they can sell. And all of a sudden they get booked up like crazy. And they're like, they go from like selling nothing, like having like a really bad sales, conversion rate and not closing their leads to like everybody's booking. So like, I cannot stress this enough that like you get to decide what your price is and you get to feel really confident in that. And I know you can do it. Yes, research. Yes, know your numbers. Know how many clients you need at this mini session to actually pay yourself and be profitable. I want that for you. but also like only you know what you feel really good about charging. And when we have that alignment in our pricing, it's so much easier to sell. And this can also be, you may be charging too less. Most of the time I see photographers charging too little. And what that does is like, it creates like for you, you're not going to be excited to sell a price. Because even if you were to book out your day, if you're only charging like I used to $97 and you're doing 10 clients, that's $1,000 plus like we have business expenses, we have taxes, plus the editing. It's like, how much are you going to actually pay yourself? So if you're not charging enough, you're not going to feel like showing up this, like, and selling this or marketing this, right? Like, you're just not. And so you get to find what feels good. There's a sweet spot for you right now with where you're at in your business. We can always raise our prices the more mini session days we do. But yeah, check out the YouTube. There's definitely more support there on my last 2 YouTube videos when it comes to pricing. So I want to go into the content and marketing stuff now, a little more specifics, because I know that's why you're here. And really quick, I'm just going to check the chat and drink some water. Well, thanks for sharing this, Alyssa, because I know a lot of people who like have recently moved can really relate to this. She said, I recently moved to Florida. I took my photography beyond hobby with family and friends, but I didn't realize how overly saturated every social media page is with photographers and their services. It can definitely get discouraging. Just keep searching for ways to make it me and stand out from others. Yes, girl, totally. Like there's not another Alyssa. And I know there are clients out there who are so perfect for you. And when you just show up as you and you start offering what you're excited to offer, and this, we didn't go too much into this, but like with your offers, when you're designing your offers, it has to feel good for you. So I currently do 30-minute mini session days. That might feel stressful for some of you to be like, oh my gosh, I only get 30 minutes with a client and I'm supposed to like make these amazing photos in 30 minutes. So that's not aligned, right? Like we have to do with what we're excited, like we have to sell and create and offer what we're excited to offer. That's why this is a workshop. That's why this is digging into like, what are my values? How do I want to feel? How do I want my clients to feel? You know, and then like what actually feels really exciting for me to offer. Like, so going back to the party, like if I'm hosting a party, I want like minimum 3 hours. If it's only like 2-hour party, like I'd feel rushed. I want my friends to be here for like at least 3 hours, but probably not 5. That feels like a long time. Like that might be draining. So like my perfect party, but and even actually, I will say sometimes I don't put an end to like my parties, but you might need that. Like for me, when I host, it's like sometimes it's like 3 to 6 p.m. or 3 to 7 p.m. But it might also be like starts at 3 and I don't put an end because sometimes that feels good for me. So it's like, what feels good for you in terms of like, how long are you going to offer? How long will your mini sessions be? How many clients feel good right now? You know, what price feels good to sell that you're still going to pay yourself well? And like, how many photos do you want to include? So watch the YouTube because I do go into like, we do want to be careful not to include too many photos and make it profitable. But like, yeah, like we get to design our own experience. And I think for you, Alyssa, once you start really dialing in what feels good for you, you're going to find that like, yes, there's a lot of photographers, but every industry has like a lot of competition and people. The thing is, there might be a lot of photographers in competition, but I promise you, there are more clients out there, business owners, people starting a business who need brand photography. Like I know y'all have seen like Instagrams, LinkedIn, websites that you're like, this is your brand, this is your website. This isn't going to like attract clients to you. This is going to repel clients if your website looks like this. So it's like, yes, there's a lot of photographers and yes, and like, but there's way more clients that need us, you guys. So just really owning that and stepping into that shift, because then you don't worry as much about the competition because you know there's always more people. There's a lot of photographers in my area. Like Karina's in this group. Karina's in San Diego, and I know we've worked with some of the similar clients and similar groups, but like, you guys, there's always more clients. There's always more people out there. There's always more networking groups. There's always like, there's just so many business owners that we're not going to be like running out of clients. That's if you're really like embodying these like shifts and you're really in embodying your brand and you feel really aligned. There's always more people you can invite to your party, right? So, okay, part 2, let's move on. So I want to talk about creating captivating content. Okay. Inviting people to your party, hosting an incredible experience. So we've talked, I guess I already went into this a little bit, but like, here's mistakes I see, mistakes. So we kind of talked about like, oh, I did. So I want to start with putting out fluff content. Putting out fluff content that's not really helpful and useful for your people, and like talking about the wrong things in your content, like copying other people's content. We talked about that if it doesn't feel aligned for you. Speaking about your product and service and not your client's transformation. So we kind of talked about this first part. So the transformation, this is a big mistake I see. People selling the wrong things when it comes to your brand photography and mini session days. Like, yes, they're excited to get 10 photos. Yes, they want to do a 30-minute photo shoot with you. But what is the transformation? Like, what do your clients really want when they book that session? It's like we have to think beyond like what we're including in our packages when we're selling things as photographers. It's like our client doesn't care about 10 photos and 2 looks and 30 minutes with you. What they care about is an elevated brand and website, is someone to guide them in planning their session and feeling good on camera, is someone to come in and pose and direct them and make them look good on camera, not get those like awkward angles that they've maybe had in the past from their photos, like for someone to make them just look and feel beautiful so that they can put a brand out there that they're proud of. A lot of my clients have told me that on like later on testimonials or when I do market research with my clients, which I'll talk about in a second, a lot of them have told me like, I just want my brand to feel like me. Like I want someone who can really capture my essence. I feel like I haven't had that in photos. Like the photos don't really feel like me and like where I'm going with my branding. It doesn't feel like that next level me. And that's what I want. So when you're not speaking to like and then the other mistake I see is just not speaking to your FYC, which is your FUCK, yes, client. I don't want to say it in case there's kids around, but your FUCK client, maybe I should type it out. I'm going to type it out in the chat. Your FYC. Okay, so a lot of you are like speaking to no one because you're afraid to turn people away. If you say like, hey, beautiful, or you say like, I don't know, if you don't speak directly to that person. But I can tell you that like the more confident you become, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. The more confident you become, and because let me do a speaker view. The more confident that you become in I just lost my thought. The baby's crying in the background. Mom life. The more confident you become in like knowing who you want to serve and love to serve, the easier filling up your mini session day will be, filling up your higher end ticket offer, showing up on social media and marketing when you're really dialed in about who you're talking to. And so I have a few like tips on this for you. So half of you, I want to know how many of you have done at least 24 or more brand shoots for branding or headshots. We'll count headshots as a branding session. Although it's very different than branding. No, don't count headshots. If it was a mix, if it was like a headshot session and you did some full body branding, telling their story, I'll count that as a brand session. How many of you have done? Okay, so if you've done more than 24, I would argue, your ideal client, your FYC. even if you don't want to admit it, you know exactly who it is. Like, you know who you love to work with. So think back to those 24 plus clients. Think of like 3 clients you just love working with that you'd love to serve again. Maybe you were excited to like get creative for their branding and capture their brand story and tell it in a unique way. And you love the props they brought and you just love them as a person. It might have nothing to do with what they do for business. A lot of times we get so narrow-minded focused that we're like, oh, what industry is my ideal client in? It might have nothing to do with their industry. Honestly, it might just be more like who they are as a person. Maybe they're playful, or that's my ideal client, right? They like to have fun. They're playful. Karina says you don't believe I have. Yeah. Don't believe you have an ideal client, Karina, or don't believe you've done that many brand shoots. So it's like you know your ideal client. So if you can start creating content just for them. So after working with several dozen clients, I discovered I love working with online coaches, business owners who are empowering other people and doing coaching. It might be like business coaching. It might be mindset coaching. I also love working with like soulful, like spiritual entrepreneurs who are a little bit woo-woo. It's really fun for me. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. And like, I love the props they bring. I just love them as a person, like their heart, just when they're just so like entrepreneurs who love to make impact in the world and who have like a for-purpose brand. And that's what I love to work with for me. And so I maximize my marketing by creating content for them. So recently, even this year, I did a blog post that was like, I think it was something like, I forget the exact title, but it was something like the images you need to capture for your website as a as a coach, like the branding photos you need for your website as a coach. It was really specific, you guys. And this is me maximizing my marketing effort because I made that blog. It's going to help with my SEO on my website. I repurposed it into a client newsletter that I sent out and I featured my client. So I gave my client a shout out who's a coach in the blog. I also featured her testimonial in the blog so people could like see and read her testimonial of working with me. How do I get on the main screen? Am I on your main screen? Full screen? No. Hopefully you can see me as the speaker. So let me know if you can see me as a speaker. Okay, yeah, perfect. Thanks, Dahlia. So it's like I made this amazing piece of content for her, for that ideal client that really spoke to her pain points. And I really catered it to her as a coach. And then I repurposed it. I shared it on Instagram. Can't remember if we turned it into a reel, but we could do that too. And then it's like, you know what's so crazy is I've started really dialing in and maximizing each piece of content I create. And this last mini session day, everyone, right? Everyone was a coach, except I think one person. One person on the mini session day sold like a product. But I can't remember if she also does coaching. But everybody who booked was a coach because I've started kind of like really customizing and catering my content for that person and just going all in. So this is the tip I have for you is, can you start going all in on who you're speaking to and just boldly, like unapologetically show up and talk to that person and create this awesome like offer for them. And it might even inform like what location you choose for the mini session. It might inform like the type of, content you're marketing with. If you are wanting to get, like, maybe you love working with creative entrepreneurs, like painters and like creators and brand designers, and like maybe you start really speaking to people with creative brands. So this is how you can stand out and really just give your marketing that extra little something as you're creating content that's going to really magnetize people your way. So like if I'm speaking to the coach and I'm selling my mini session day, it's like I'm going to be talking about just like having like a library of content that you can pull from, or like designing your next sales page. So if you're a coach, you know what a sales page is. That's something you do in your business. It's like I talk about make the perfect photos for a sales page, right? And that just really attracts that person. So I want to move on, but let me know your takeaways from that. And let me know if like, if also you feel like you know the transformation. Let me go back to present mode. If you know the transformation that your clients are seeking from their photo shoot. And like, if you feel confident about selling the transformation instead of how many photos they get, but what they really want, a new website, a new brand, book more clients. Like some of you for your brand words had put like professional. Our clients want this too. They want their brand photos to say, I'm professional, and so can you start selling the transformation instead of what is included in your package or your offer? And inviting more people to your party. I think the biggest thing is just seeing that people don't invite people in enough. So I'll see like photographers post one time or twice about their mini session day, and that's it. Like they're not showing up on stories every day, sharing something, talking. They're not like making fun reels about it. They're not like maybe shouting out, hey, guess who just signed up for the mini session day? Can't wait to capture you. There's so many ways we can like continue to market and talk about, the mini session day and sell it out beyond just like posting one time. So that's what I want to invite you to do, is show up more often. I want you to talk about your party and invite people every day until the spots are filled. And I put especially when your energy is high vibe, because I know for me, like I don't always, like I said, I usually only post 1 to 3 times a week right now as an actual post on Instagram. But you know what I do is I love stories. So I'm always sharing things on stories. So if I don't have a piece of content to share, if I don't feel like super excited to like go on stories and talk about it, I might just share like some BTS clips from the last mini session day and tag the link to join the waitlist, or invite people to send me a DM and with the word like content party if they want more information. And I want you to know I go a lot deeper into my launch strategy for the mini session day in my 13K day course. I go through the actual like launching strategy I've used, but again, it's like that's worked for me, and it's worked for other photographers who did the course, and it might work for you, but you can create your own way of like selling and promoting that feels really aligned and good for you. So what I wanted to finish today with, the last thing I want to talk about is, it's already 9:55. Okay. I want to quickly just touch on this. So if you are like Meg, I'm the person who like hasn't worked with two dozen clients, and I don't know who my people are, and I don't even know where to start with talking to my ideal client. This is just a quick tip I have for you, is to do more market research. And the 4 ways to do that are like social media polls on your stories. So you could start to say like, what's your biggest pain point with your branding photos? And you could post that as a story and ask your audience. You could say, when was the last time you had a brand photo shoot? And you can ask your audience, you can say, what is like the perfect, like in a perfect world, how many brand photo shoots a year would you want to have? Like you can create these fun polls as one way to market research and start to dial in what your people want who are following you. I also I want to encourage you, if you haven't done 2 dozen brand photo shoots yet, like just work with everybody. Don't try to like define your ideal client or niche down yet. Like you haven't worked with enough people to know. So don't think you need to know your ideal client until you're like several dozen photo shoots in. And even then, it's like, if you're just in alignment with your branding and showing up in harmony, like you just attract ideal clients. You don't have to try as much, right? That's why I started with the branding piece for us, so that everyone's like feeling in alignment there first. And then the second thing is market research calls. So if you have maybe like a little idea of who your ideal client would be, what you can do, I'm going to go off screen share. Sales calls and giveaway. Okay. If you have an idea of who your ideal client might be, what you can, and like maybe you have some like business bestie friends from like your community or a networking group, or someone like you met like in our Facebook community. I don't know, maybe you want to photograph brand photos for other photographers, or you think that'd be fun to like do brand photos for another photographer. You can do market research where you invite people to do like a 15-minute call with you. And you send them some questions, or you can even do this through an email and email it to some of your people. Some of the questions might be like the same ones that I mentioned for posting on polls, or it could be like, have you ever thought about like doing a brand mini session day? What would feel like the perfect amount of time? And you can start to get this research. And the two questions you have to ask that are like probably most important when doing your market research calls with potential clients and just like really aligning your branding and is one, like, what are your pain points and biggest challenges and struggles right now with your business, with your branding, with your photos? That's going to tell you a lot right there. And then the other big main question you'll want to ask is like, what do you want and desire from like your business and branding? Like, what's your goal? What are your business goals? What are your goals with your branding? Maybe you say like, how do you want your branding to feel? So if you ask those two questions and you're getting like a clear list of like what they really desire and want, and then what are their like pain points and challenges, like this is going to tell you a lot about what you need to know when it comes to the marketing and like give you so many ideas for content, so many ideas. Like, I wish I had more examples for you guys because I could probably go through some client messages. Like if I even just, you know what, let's do it. I have extra time. If you have extra time, I'm going to go through my last few inquiries in Honeybook. Let's see exactly what they said. This is another way you can do your market research and figure out like what to create content around that's more potent, like more effective content, like content that's, again, just like maximizing your efforts and really going to like call in your clients. So inquiries, let's see, hot leads. I'm going to go to the hot leads. I have an inquiry and a hot lead and a follow-up in my Honeybook pipeline. So my hot leads. So like here was one of the people, let's see. Let me know in the comments what questions are coming through. Megan said, I would ask my wedding clients how you want your photos to feel. Yes, same things for your brand clients, Megan. It's even more important with branding, I feel like, because we have to be so dialed in and like to what our client's brand is and make sure like we are capturing that essence so that they love the photos and they're going to be like work well for their branding, right? No two brands are the same. Everybody's unique. We're all unique brands. Everybody, especially like when we're talking about personal branding, it's like we're all so unique. Sorry, I'm like, here, let me go to this. I want to go to like some leads, inquiries of people that actually booked my mini session and see what they said for you guys. So for like market research purposes. Oop, here we go. So for instance, I remember this girl came to me and she said in her inquiry, let's scroll back. I'm looking to get photographs that show my personality. Here's a content idea: how to get photos that show your personality, how we will capture photos that show your personality on the next mini session day. Do you like message me the word fun, message me the word, I usually say like content party, or message me the word freedom or something if you want more info. And then when they message me, boom, you have a new lead because they said, oh, I'd like more info. And then I send them the info of the mini session day. And then I have them as a lead. I ask for their email so I can follow up with them about the mini session day if they don't book right away. And all the like logistics of like capturing the lead and how they book and going to my like waitlist page and how they like book and how they schedule their session. All of that, if you want to really go into those like nitty gritty like logistics, it's in my 13-day course. I'm showing you my exact behind the scenes like flow, launching, but everything we're talking about here in terms of you showing up and how you're marketing and having the confidence, like this is where it starts. Because all of that stuff you can figure out. You can figure out like the email flow and the planning and the prep and the perfect location. I know you guys can do that. You're all creative. It's like we want to start with like how we're showing up and inviting people to our party, right? So, and then she said, I love outdoor locations, but I'm open to locations. It was so cute. She talked about herself. I'm an entrepreneur. I love to travel. I love enjoying life and I love to laugh. So cute. She said at the end, I feel like I really love how you capture the women in your photograph. I feel like I know who they are from the images, that they really evoke feeling like images should. So I knew this was important to her, showing her personality, evoking feeling. She said she likes to laugh and enjoy life. This is already helping me when I respond back to her and invite her into the party and say, hey, this content day, like my September mini session day is going to be perfect for you. Like I already know how to like invite her, and I already know it would be perfect for her just based on what she said, because I know, like, I'm confident we will deliver on what she wants, right? So it's just like, go back to your inquiries. That's another way you can do market research and really like listening and paying attention to the words they use and what they want. Or like sometimes with, I don't know if you guys have had this on any inquiries, but sometimes people will put like, you know, what they didn't like about their photo shoots in the past or what they're not looking for. Pay attention to that stuff and create content around it. Create your experience around it, right? You have everything you need. And so like you can do market research there. You can check your inquiries. You can also do market research how many of you do discovery calls or sales calls? You can do your market research when you're on the call. The last thing I want to say on market research is you can do polls on your stories. You can do sales calls are great for market research, even if the client doesn't book you, because like take notes of what they're saying, what they want, what are their pain points. Ask questions like, have you had a brand photo shoot before in the past? If so, like, what did you love about the images? Or what could have been better? And just like hear what they say, because there's a reason they're coming to you, and they may or may not have had a brand photo shoot, but people will just open up if you ask the right questions, and you're going to get so many ideas for like content and marketing, like that are really dialed in to like your people, your community, people who are attracted to working with you, so that you can make sure your content is aligned. And then the last market research tool that you can do, let me share my screen, is a giveaway. That's what we're going to talk about now. Dun, 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 is a giveaway. So let's get into it. Maximizing your marketing, part 3, wrapping it up here. I like to look at my marketing now that, especially like since becoming a mom and having essentially like 2 businesses, because I love my photography. I love my clients. Like I love being a photographer. I just can't imagine not doing photo shoots. But I also love coaching. Some of you know that I love creating courses. I love coaching. I love doing this. So it's like I kind of have 2 businesses and 2 kids. So my marketing, I've really dialed it in to go more deep, maximizing to go more, talk more to one person and really go in deeper on everything I create. And I do less. Like I said, I do 1 to 3 posts a week on Instagram. I do 1 to 2 email newsletters a month, typically. And I'm able to sell my mini session, like fill my mini session days up. And I post on stories a lot. I love stories. See, I post on stories almost every day because it's easy for me. I'm just capturing behind the scenes, what I'm already doing, and everything's content, right? So it's like, how can you maximize your marketing and move into like minimalism marketing, where you don't feel like you need to be doing a million things and be in all the places, but you're really going all in on what feels really good for you. I love the blogs. And by the way, I don't write my blogs. So I told you about the blog I created this year, and I've created more blogs talking to my ideal clients, but I'm not even writing them. I'm actually paying a blog writer, and then my team is putting them together, and then I take those and repurpose them. I give her the ideas and I give her like some content for it, but then she does that. And that to me is worth the investment, because it's maximizing my marketing efforts, right? And then I can take that one piece of content and I can repurpose it places. And so, I don't know about you, but I love my business and it is a priority. I love what I do. I love being a business owner. I really identify as a powerful CEO in my identity. And it's like so fun. Like I love when I'm working. This is so fun to me right now. And it's my priority, but I have other priorities. I have other priorities. I'm a mom. They're my priority. My family's my priority. My health is my priority. So it's like, I just don't want marketing and to take over my life. So that's why we're talking about maximizing and minimalism marketing. Our business gets to make our life easier. And I know for me right now, I like my work week is about like 25 to 30 hours. Those are like the hours I work total in a week. And that's by choice. I don't want to work 40 hours a week. I don't want to work 50-hour weeks. So I have dialed in my marketings and like and mini session day launching for that purpose. So more is not always better. Like just putting things out and seeing like what works. It's like going deep with your clients and in your content and giving a lot of value, talking about the transformation they're getting and working with you. Like that, when you do that, you're able to have more results by creating less market and like feeling in like you still show up, you still market. We get to show up and invite people to our party. We already talked about that, but it's like less is more. So I hope that's really coming through after this lesson. And because the reason why is like we want to avoid burnout. Sustainability is key in our marketing. So everything we're talking about today, this is long term. Everything I'm having you do, the branding, alignment, dialing it in, getting clarity about your client, market research, all of this is going to help you create a sustainable like marketing plan and business long term and fill your mini session days again and again. So let's talk about the giveaway. I recently did a mini session giveaway. This is your homework. If you haven't launched a mini session day yet, your homework is to do that. Just do it. Just go for it. And if you're already launching, like I know Vonda mentioned, she already has a mini session day coming up, you can still do this giveaway. So I actually did this just on my last mini session day. I'll pull it up for you so you can see. And like really quick, I mean, the reason to do it is like, it creates so much buzz and awareness with your branding. Because like so many people will be tagging other people. You'll see my example in a second. And like, you're going to reach so many new potential ideal clients by doing this giveaway. And what's great is it's not like you're giving a full shoot away, like you're giving a full day. You're already doing the mini session day. You're already committed to launching and filling it up and having this amazing party and inviting people to your party. So now it's like, you're just giving one little spot away. It's like, you're just giving like one person that like VIP ticket to your party where like, you know, they get it for free. You get to gift someone in your community a free mini session, which is really fun. It's really cool. Like I loved the girl who won this last one. We did like, she 1,000% deserved it. I love her so much. She's been in my community a long time. And it's like, I got to capture her brand. It was so fun. And then it's a win-win for you if you're building your portfolio, because then you get more content. You get more experience as a brand photographer with this person, and you get to like, you'll have those photos to share. You'll have the behind the scenes videos to use for marketing your next day. And essentially you'll generate dozens or hundreds of new leads. And you can even start a wait list for your next mini session day, which we'll talk about because of this. So I just want to really quick show you the post I did. Super easy that you can create yourself. You can do a post like this. Has anyone done a mini session day giveaway? I'd love to hear. Or done any kind of giveaway for photography. And did you have good results from it? Because I've done this now 2 or 3 times. 3 times I've done a giveaway. Each one was a little different, and I've had amazing results. So the first giveaway I did was a partnership with some other brands. We did a mini session. No, we did a photo shoot giveaway, and it was like a 1-hour photo shoot. So a little more than a mini session, but not like a full day or anything. So it was a 1-hour photo shoot, and I partnered with a makeup artist, a hairstylist, a brand designer who gave like a 3-hour package of designing to them, an accountant who did a strategy session. She donated. Who else? A wardrobe stylist who donated styling the client for like 4 looks for the photo shoot, 3 or 4 looks. and a business coach who donated like a couple sessions of business coaching. So you can do this. You can partner with really amazing brands. If you've already connected with some amazing brands you want to work with, you can invite them to throw the party with you and do the giveaway. And I've done that and it was great because it was a win-win for all of us. Like we had, how I did that one was like, you know, you follow each person, you tag them in the caption, each person who's contributing, and then they tagged friends in the comments. And then like, I think if you share it on your post, you get extra entries. That's what I did for this last one. So that's one way you can do it. Another way I've done it is, on one of my last mini session days, I had like 1 or 2 spots still open and I wanted to fill 10 spots and I had filled like 7 or 8. So what I did is I actually did a special contest giveaway for past clients and I emailed my client list. This is why you need to start your email list and tag everyone you worked with as a client. It just helps with stuff like this. So I emailed them and I said, hey, I'm doing a mini session giveaway for anybody who does a 15 to 30-second video testimonial of working with me just on your phone, face good light, text it to me. You're going to be entered to win this giveaway. And so I did that. I invited people and one person entered. And then I sent a second email that was like, guess what? Only one person is entered the giveaway. So your chances of winning, if you want to enter, are really, really good. And I got like 7 more clients who sent me a 15 to 30-minute testimonial video and got entered to win. And then I went live on my story and I put everyone's name on a hat and I pulled it. And I was like, okay, you just won, you know, a mini session spot on my next mini session day. And it was great. And guess what? I got 8 new video testimonials, 8 new pieces of content. This is what I'm talking about with maximizing your marketing. Like, how can you get creative? We're all creatives in here. How can you do something really fun you're excited about to invite people to your party and really maximize it? So I want to show you the last giveaway I did. So those were 2 examples of giveaways. The third example is this one I just did. I had like an extra spot left again, and we were getting close to the mini session day. We were like 2 or 3 weeks out when I posted this, 2 weeks out. So getting pretty close. I did a giveaway and you can go to my Instagram and see everything I said, but essentially they had to tag 2 friends below to enter. And then they had to DM me their email address. So I actually ended up getting, some of you like in here might have entered, which I love you for that. If you entered, thank you so much. So I can't even show you all the comments. There's a lot, but over 100 people were tagged in this. So that's over 100 new business owners that are seeing my brand, connecting with me, some of them following me. And like now they know who I am. Now they know the Meg Marie like branding. And it's not only are they like new warm leads now, but they're warm leads because somebody they know tagged them. So someone they know was like, ooh, I want to recommend Meg to this business owner friend. So that already like helps me as a brand, like be like a little more of, I would say like they're a little more of a warm lead now because they know me through a friend, right? Their friend tagged me. So it's like, it's really easy, you guys. It took me like 10 minutes to write this. And then I made the reel. I took photos, my favorite client photos from mini session days. And it's okay if you haven't done a mini session day, just use your top client photos that you've taken. And I just said giveaway. Giveaway definitely gets people's attention. So when you do this, just say like giveaway, make it really obvious, like I did here, mini session day giveaway. And then make sure you get they have to DM you their name and email address and tag 2 people in the comments. Super easy. And you can make this feel and sound like you know, go back to your brand words that we got clarity on. It's like, make it sound like you, make it feel like you. Maybe you decide to do a fun name for your offer. Maybe you call it the fall Lux, like I call mine Lux mini session days, or sometimes I call it like content days. And I call it content days because not only do we do photos, but we get videos. I have an assistant helping me get reel videos, video clips that they can use for reels. So it's really a content day where they're getting a lot of content. So what is your experience? Like, what is your party you're throwing and inviting people to? And can you give away one of your spots for free to really create buzz? And the way I'd actually recommend you doing this is not exactly how I did it. I would actually do the giveaway 6 weeks before the mini session day, ideally, because then what you can do is you can take all these other leads, people who actually entered the contest, you DM them. Let me just like, I wish I could show you my messages. Okay, don't judge me for all my unanswered DMs. Here we go. I'm trying to see somebody who entered the contest. I wanted to show you the message we sent to them. Okay. I've been really busy this week, so I'm sorry if I haven't got back to your DM yet. Okay. Here we go. Jasmine entered. Oh, so with Jasmine, okay. Anyways, that's not important. I'm going on a tangent now. That's not important. Point is, you'll get back to them and you'll say like, hey, I saw so-and-so tagged you in the comments. If you'd like to enter to win the mini session, don't forget to tag 2 people and send me your email. So that was like something like what the message said that we sent to them. And then we have a whole list of several dozen people ended up sending us their emails and are now, I'm going to send them a follow-up email with a coupon of like, hey, here's a coupon to save like $500 on a full, like a half day, like one-on-one brand session, or $100 on your next mini session if you book by the end of October, because I'm going to send this out probably in the next week or 2, and I'm going to give them a little time to go ahead and pre-book a session using that coupon if they want. So these are people that didn't win, but I still want to give them something. And at the same time, I am going to ask permission. Like, I hope, like, can I also subscribe you to my email list? And then that way I'll have new leads on my email list. So this is like one post I made. This is one 30-minute session I gave away plus the editing. And I just got a flood of new followers. They also had to follow me. So like new followers, new leads, people DMing me their email saying, yes, I want to be in your world. Yes, I want more. So how can we think about marketing like this, like really maximizing everything we do? Same thing with even like going to networking events. How many of you are really maximizing your time at a networking event and like really walking away with like 2 or 3 people you connected to, you follow them on Instagram, you're engaging with their brand, you send them a follow-up DM, hey, it was nice to meet you. And now they're connected, like seeing your content every day. Like maybe you even, if you have a mini session day coming up and you go to an event, that's part of your elevator pitch. You say, and I have an amazing content day I've created for entrepreneurs who are looking to really like level up their brand and website before the fall season, before like the fall rush. So in, you know, an easy way where you just show up, we do hair, makeup for you. You walk away with photos, videos. I'm taking care of running the house. I'd love for you to join us. We have a few spots left. Come talk to me after the event if you're interested in this, or go to this landing page if you're interested in this and grab your spot. And I'll send you more info, or join the waitlist and I'll send you more info. There's so many ways we can be like maximizing every little thing we do in the marketing of our mini. Whew, I just talked a long time. Okay, I think that's a wrap. That's what I wanted to share with you today. And I want to know any questions you have, start dropping them in. I have a few minutes here. And I do want to share with you, if you want even more support and accountability with actually following through and launching your mini session day, grab my course because it's $111 off right now. So I believe it's like one payment of $186. So it's less than $200 the investment. I know that because I'm doing a special this week on it. And then when you get this course, there's a workshop in there that goes through exact like more launch strategy, really dialing in like more specific ideas you can do for posting and emailing for your launch and promoting. And then I go through like how to actually execute a mini session day, which is like too much to talk about here in one little workshop, but how to really like make sure your team's really dialed in, make sure you're creating that experience. And I even talk about like posing flow a little bit and like all the things to like make sure the day runs smoothly once you book up your mini session day. And you get the email templates that it's taken me years to design for the mini session day. These are different. If you have my Confident Brand Photographer course, if you have like those email templates, my signature client experience templates, these are different. So these are different templates that I think it's 7 templates, email templates that are exactly designed to like automatically plug in your honeybook and send it out. So your clients show up to the mini session day, like super prepared, super excited, like dressed to the nines, just like looking and feeling amazing. And that's how you really create that like luxe mini session day experience, is like everything. It's all the communication. It's the actual day of the photo shoot, because I want you to keep raising your prices. Like we should all be charging at least $1,000 for mini session day clients. Like what we do, the work we do is amazing. Like we are transforming someone's brand. We are helping them book more clients. We are leveling them up. We are giving them confidence in themselves and their brand. We are helping them be business owners full time. We are helping them do their passion through brand photography. So what we offer is so much more than like 10 photos in 30 minutes. Like what we offer people is a transformation. Truly. It's like the American dream. We're helping them with it doesn't have to be the American dream, but we're helping them with like what they desire, which is doing their business full time and booking their, clients. So that's all I was going to say. We're going to drop the link. Dolly is going to drop the link, the special link to that in the chat. You do save $111 today if you do want more support. But questions? Oh my gosh, Judith, thank you so much for saying this is the best webinar you've seen in a while. I really appreciate that, because I feel like in the past when I've done lessons and webinars, I'm a perfectionist. So I'm like, oh, I could have done this better, or, oh, I should talk more about this, but I appreciate that feedback. Yes, I love this question. So I do have a sales page for mini sessions, and I didn't have this at first. My first few days I filled up mini session days. I added a landing page later, but I would definitely encourage you to do it. I think in your long-term strategy, maybe not for this mini session you're launching. I mean, you could do it if you have time, but like one thing at a time, right? You can totally fill up your mini session days without a landing page. And it's like, if you want to do a landing page, let me show you as an example. Actually, I'll just go to my Instagram because it's in my Instagram bio. So for the waitlist, the mini session waitlist, I always have my landing page waitlist up where anybody can join the mini session day waitlist any day of the year. So I'm always selling it, right? I'm not just selling it like 3 weeks before the mini session day. Like I'm inviting people all year to join the waitlist. And then what happens is this last time I launched the mini sessions, I launched it just to the waitlist I had for the September mini sessions, which I want to say was like 8 to 10 people. It wasn't a huge waitlist, like 8 to 10 people. I'd been kind of like teasing the mini session day, like, hey, I'm going to be doing a fall mini session day. Let me know if you're interested. I think I did one post, this one right here. I did this one post. This was the one post plus the giveaway. So I guess I did 2 posts total about the mini session day. And after I did this, I got people DMing me wanting to be on the wait list or joining the wait list with the link in my bio. And then when I launched it, it mostly filled up. So and this is shifted for me. A full day, a full mini session day used to be when I filled up 10 spots, which I've done. And in this current season of my life, that feels like too many people for me. Like I got too tired and I didn't feel like focused as much during the last few people. So a full day for me now is 7 people. So that's my current goal with my mini session days. So with this, it's like I launched it to that wait list of like 8 to 10 people, and like 5 or 6 of the spots got filled. So it was like almost filled just from emailing, like sending out a quick email to that wait list. And that made my job really easy. And thanks to Honeybook, which I talk about this more in the 13K day masterclass, but like Honeybook makes it really easy if you kind of automate some of this stuff where they can go in and book their own spot. They can go in and pay for the mini session day. They can go in and add hair and makeup. Here it is. Here's my like button for my landing page and waitlist. So this is it. You can totally check it out in the link in my bio, but it's like, notice I am listing what they get because people want to know that. But when I'm promoting it, when I'm talking about on stories, when I'm talking about the experience of the party, right? This is just kind of like the details. So it's like I'm leading in my marketing with the experience when I'm putting out that reel or that Instagram post or that giveaway and talking on my story. And then they can go here to actually see the details, see some testimonials, see more photos, and they can join the wait list right here. So when they click this, they just put in their name and email, they join my email list, and my email list just tags them with like waitlist mini session. So I have everybody like easily tagged. So when I go to send an email and say, okay, it's official, like I picked a date, it's going to be September 14th for our next mini session day. And because you're on the wait list, I'm giving you first dibs to grab your spot. And so that's how I do it. And that's why those people were like so ready to just go ahead and book, because they'd been like waiting to work with me and they'd been on the wait list, like some of them a couple weeks, some of them a couple months, they've been on the wait list. So I encourage you to get this set up and have this going between your mini session days. And that makes launching so much easier. But don't wait to launch if you don't have this set up. Like just start. You don't have to have this. You can add this later. I know it's like so easy not to take action if we're like, oh, I got to do it perfectly. Trust me, a recovering perfectionist, I get it. It's like, oh, I got to do it perfectly before I launch. I have to have the wait list set up and I have to have the landing page and I have to have my Honeybook template set up. Like, yes, it's great when you do have that set up because it makes your life easier, but you can just launch today. You can do your giveaway. You can start to get leads and you can just take it one step at a time and then like figure out the next step, the next step, the next step. Because like I said, I didn't even have location. I didn't have the hair and makeup artist booked this last time when I filled up my mini session day. I only had the date. I knew the date and I had the times in Honeybook where they could go book. And then I shared all the other details later. And if you really want to see the full flow, grab the 13K day while it's on sale, because I actually go into in that course, I go into more of like planning how you actually the next step. So once you get your day filled up, you'll want to do like a group Zoom call. So I go into that in the course of like what you could be doing on that group Zoom call with your mini session day clients to help them like show up super prepared. So you feel really confident as the photographer, like going into the mini session day that like you're going to capture photos that are really aligned for their brand and look and like feel good for the client and photos that they want. So you can do just one group Zoom call for that. And like, that's just taking your mini session day and your client experience to a whole nother level when you offer something like that. So I do go into that in the course as well, like how I do that call. Yay, there will be a replay. I'm not sure if the replay will be posted in the Facebook group or if we're going to send it via email, but we'll make sure that we announce it. Probably both places. Yay. Oh yeah, Dahlia said, that's right. There'll be a limited time replay available in the Facebook group. Thank you for reminding me. Perfect. Yeah, the code. Oh, we need the link with the special discount code, Dahlia. Let me grab it for you. Boom. Oh, she said she dropped it in already. So yeah, there is a code. You save $111. Yay, thank you for joining me. I actually, one more special bonus too, I did not announce that will be part of, if you do join me for the 13K day workshop. So it's a DIY, do it on your own workshop, but I'm also going to be giving a bonus like group Zoom call like this, where you actually can, but we actually show faces. And you can ask me questions on there. I'm going to be giving that to everybody who's in the course. I'm thinking like we'll probably do that in like 2 to 3 weeks. I don't want to wait too long, but I want to give you time if you grab the course to like go through the workshop. It's like a 2-hour workshop, and start to implement everything I teach in the workshop. And then on the bonus group Zoom call, you'll be able to like ask me questions or even get like feedback on your strategy. You can ask me anything there. So like if you make a couple pieces of content to promote your mini session day, or like you make a landing page, you can totally show me on that call, and I'm happy to give feedback. So that's a bonus for people who join the course. What other questions? I feel like there's probably questions and I haven't answered. Megan said, what mindset resistance did you work through to get to execution? Of what phase, Megan? I feel like in every single phase of an entrepreneur's journey, there's resistance. There's resistance to picking a date for the mini session day. There's resistance to like saying I'm going to do it. There's resistance to making that first post. There's resistance to sitting down and making the landing page. There's resistance to booking the makeup art. Like there's always resistance. It's just like, I think how we work through it is like taking it one step at a time. So for me, that's why it's like, my old perfectionist way of thinking would be like, I have to have everything done, all the details before I launch it. And I know when I do that, it holds me back because then I just don't end up launching. Like how many of you can relate to that? So what I do instead is I'm like, you know what? I already have it in my sales strategy for the whole year that I map out. I'm doing a quarterly mini session day. I don't know when it's going to be. Actually, I usually kind of like have an idea of what month. So like I knew for Q3, I already committed in my mind and I wrote it on my sales strategy. We're doing a Q3 mini session day. So I put it in my like I knew it was coming in September. So because I committed to that, even though I don't know all the details, I started showing up on stories a few months before and being like, and like did that post that I showed you of like, hey, here's some photos from the last mini session days or from my past client sessions. Like, send me a DM if you're interested in joining the waitlist for the next one. Like I just started putting out one thing at a time, getting a waitlist. And my waitlist was just them DMing me their name and email. That was actually like before I had the landing page. So like before I had the landing page set up, I just told them like, DM me your name and email if you're interested, right? Like we don't have to have everything perfect before we just go for it and we launch. What I found is like it's more about your energy and how excited you are about this party you're hosting and getting people there and serving your people. Like if you can get behind that and focus on like what it's going to be like once you do fill it up and you're like show up in your marketing and promote from the energy of like, oh, this party is going to be full. Like this is going to sell out. It's just a matter of when. And that's another reason I do like to give myself a couple months to launch something like this, like 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Like if you're wanting to do a mini session day next month, you could totally fill it up. I'm not saying you can't, especially if you have a wait list or you already have like a pretty engaged community. You could totally announce it for next month and fill it up. I know I see photographers doing that all the time. For me, I like having time to fill up my programs. And when I say time, that's like 6 to 8 weeks. Like I like teasing it like 8 weeks ahead and being like, DM me content party if you want more info. It's coming soon in Q3 if you want to be on the wait list. Like I like that because it feels like I can take my time more and it's like less pressure. So that's how I like to promote it and show up. So that helps me too with the mindset. It's like giving myself enough time, not being perfect, one step at a time. I love that question. Vonda said, I bought this course last year and it was so useful and it sparked many ideas. Ooh, awesome, Vonda. Yeah, I actually need to add, probably do that today, some testimonials from some people that have been through this course last year when I first created it. A couple of people got amazing results from just going through what's in the 13K and just following that strategy. So I'm going to be adding those testimonials. They're just not up there yet. See, I'm not perfect. It's like, I still launched this and I still just got it out to you guys, even though it's like, oh, there's more I could put on the information page. I need to add the testimonials, but like, I know it's good. And I'm just so excited for you all to go through this. I know this is mini session day season. That's why I really wanted to do this workshop and have this talk about the mini session days, because like, I already know this is the season for it. And so awesome. Yeah, Jacqueline, yay, you got it. Amazing. I don't know if you had it before, Jacqueline, but if you just, and like, even if you've already had it before, like go through the content again. I know that every time I watch like a workshop again, or like go through course content again, I always have like new breakthroughs or new things. I'm like, ooh, I want to try, like, I want to implement that now, like this time. You can go through this workshop again. Yeah, Megan, I just wanted to hear you say you experienced, yeah. Oh yeah, I still experience mindset blocks all the time showing up on social media, creating content, marketing, selling. Like that's not natural. Like we're not born like great marketers on social media. And it's not natural for me to be talking to all of you, over 30 people, through a computer screen. Like it takes practice. Like I haven't, like I didn't, like my first Zoom wasn't, I wasn't as confident on my first Zoom. You know, your first mini session launch, you maybe won't be like, it won't be your best launch ever. Think about it. It's like your first launch. You just have to go for it. And then like every time you're going to get a little bit better. But the worst thing you can do is just not take action. Like inaction and being your head, like it's not good. So just take what you have learned, take what you do know from this workshop today, and just get out there and launch. Christina says, how often do you do mini session days? Yep, usually once a quarter. Yeah, I love it. I put together and launched my next mini session day in 2 days. It's a great way to generate cash fast. Yeah. And like, here's the thing, I actually have had one, and every launch I do is different, right? It's like, it'd be great if there's like one little formula we can do with marketing that works every single time. But to be honest, it's not the same every time. Every launch is a little bit different and I try new things. So like, I would encourage you to try and experiment. So like, I remember one of my launches last year, I did launch it and it like filled up in like 48 hours. It was so incredible. It felt so good. I think I sent like an email, I made a post and I showed up on stories sharing and inviting people into my party. And 48 hours, it was booked. Like that's amazing. I wish that would happen every time. It doesn't happen every time. I'd be lying to you if I said it did. So it's like I still show up and I get creative. That's why I did the giveaway this last time, is because I had like a spot left. Maybe I was thinking about maybe doing an 8th person, like one more person. And I was like, well, let me do a giveaway to like at least fill this spot, because it's like I'm already committed to doing this party. And like I know like I can confidently and comfortably take on 7 people and we have the house all day. So like might as well fill the spot with somebody else and like serve one more person who's going to become a raving fan and going to post the photos and tag you and like, you know, like don't be afraid to like do a giveaway or give out some free sessions to like really get your business momentum going. And really like and when you do that, just make sure you're maximizing the giveaway. Or like if you're giving something free, make sure it's like, and you have to tag me in the photos and I can use the photos for my marketing. And maybe you require them to get hair and makeup done on their own. Maybe you give the photo shoot for free, but they have to invest in that. Like you can do it however you want, but make sure it's like you're being strategic about it. Like you're picking someone who is your ideal client and is going to like help you grow your brand. And like if you are doing a free like mini session day, like a portfolio building mini session day where maybe you pick 3 to 4 people and you gift this to them for free, because this would only be if you're just starting and you like don't have a brand photo portfolio yet. Like you could do this, gift it to 3 or 4 people. It's an investment in your business. You're not giving it for free. This is an investment in your business so that you can get a portfolio, so that you can get your name out there, so your brand can like expand and reach more people. So that's the last mindset shift I have for you today. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Wow, of course I went over time. I'm going to answer this last question before I hop off. Have you ever found that any of your mini session clients didn't feel that the location fit them or their brand? No, I've never had that come up, because it is about the location and it's not about the location. When I choose locations for this, I try to just choose something that's pretty minimal, pretty neutral, doesn't have distracting backgrounds, doesn't have distracting colors. It's usually like a modern, Instagrammable house, from Pure Space that I'm renting. And I just choose something more simple where no matter what their brand color they're wearing is, like they're going to stand out, they're going to look good. That's kind of my approach. Of course, there's probably people who want something like really more specific if they have a different kind of brand, and this offer is not for them, and that's okay. This might not be like their party, right? This might not be the party for them, but for the people that are excited to work with me and they've seen me show my mini session day portfolio images, like they have a good idea of what it's going to look like and what they're going to get, because I'm pretty consistent with like the type of locations I choose. So I think that helps people trust and feel confident that like to book before even knowing the location, because they know like I'm going to choose something that is in alignment. There's that word again, is in alignment with my client experience, my branding, my portfolio, like what they've seen before, right? Is hosting a mini session day in November too late? I would say first half of November. Nope, it's not too late. I would actually say first 2 weeks of November are great. And like, there's no wrong time. You could probably even fill a mini session day for branding in December, because I know like some people are actually really focused on their business in December, like the first half of December, and they actually have time and space. And again, it's not for everybody. There might be people who are too busy and it's not the right day for them, but there's going to be other people who are like, oh, November actually works great for me, So I would say go for it. I would do it like first half of November. I think that's great. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for watching. I will connect with you more on Instagram and the Facebook group. Have a great, great week.